What's up everybody? Welcome back to Food Designers. My name is Desiree and today I'm coming at you with the Beef Wellington recipe. Done the desired way, of course, and the plant-based way. This is the perfect recipe for New Year's Eve or any occasion where you want to impress your friends with a beef recipe that's made from plants. Let's get straight into the recipe. Start by preheating your oven to 180 degrees Celsius. So add 2.5 tablespoons of canola oil to the pan. To a pan, add 1 finely chopped leek and 1 finely chopped red onion together with 2 cloves of garlic. Add some paprika, some nutmeg, some rosemary, sage, and cinnamon, and also some allspice. And then add a pinch of salt. To the pan, we will add 1 tablespoon of miso. And then I'll add 1 cup of cider. And then adding 1 cup of vegetable stock. Okay, so into the blender go some dried apricots, some chestnuts, and cranberries. You don't want to overmix the nuts, they should be roughly chopped. Add the chestnuts and the dried fruit to the pan. So now it's time to add the wet ingredients to the dry ones. So an important part of making beef Wellington is the wheat gluten. Now I've talked about wheat gluten in previous videos, but it's basically wheat dough that has been washed. So it has allowed the starch to come out and we've kept the protein of the wheat. And this is what will make the beef have a meaty texture to it. I've also added in some chickpea flour to this. And now it's time to add the wet ingredients. So once you've combined the wet ingredients with the dry ones, you will need to knead the dough for around 10 minutes. You want the dough to start bouncing back towards you, because that is what will make the Wellington have a beefy texture. Roll the dough into a sausage shape. To a chopping board, add some cayenne pepper, cinnamon, rosemary, nutmeg, sage, and allspice. And now we're just going to roll the dough in the spices just to enhance those flavors and get the ultimate beef experience. So the next step will be to wrap up the dough in a cheesecloth. Make sure to roll it tight and wrap up the ends. So once you wrapped it up, it should look something like this. Ideally, you would like to have some strings to the sides, but otherwise you can just tie the knots as I've done. So put the dough on an oven tray. Add 1 cup of vegetable stock, 1 cup of ginger ale, and then 1 tablespoon of miso. Add the juice of 1 orange. Add 2 cloves of garlic, and then 1 diced red onion. Last but not least, we're adding 2 bay leaves and a range of spices. Stir for a bit to allow the miso to combine with all the other ingredients. So now it's time to put the dough into the oven, and we'll put it on the bottom shelf for 2 hours, and after 1 hour, I'll simply flip it to the other side. So now we've taken the Wellington out of the oven and I've also removed the cheesecloth. So this is what it should look like, and it seems to have quite a beefy texture. It seems very chewy, so I'm super excited about this. Now we're going to put some cranberry sauce on top of it. I will link the recipe down below. And then we'll wrap the Wellington up in puff pastry and put it into the oven for 10 to 15 minutes. And then all there's left to do is just pour some amazing sauce on top of it. The cranberry sauce both on top of the beef Wellington and on the sides. So the next step will be to transfer the beef Wellington to the paste pastry. I will then make some incisions to the sides and add some glaze to it. This is to make the puff pastry stick to the beef Wellington. So I've simply made a glaze made from maple syrup, some oil, and then also some oat milk. This is to mimic egg wash. Okay, so now I'm making the incisions. You want to try to make them as even as possible. So ideally you would like to have a brush to the glaze, but I don't have that, so we'll just have to improvise. And now I just layered the puff pastry on top of the Wellington like a braid. Okay, last but not least, I'm just putting some glaze on top of the roast as well. Okay, so now it's time to put the beef Wellington into the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for around 10 to 15 minutes or until golden brown. The final step will be to create the gravy, and I've simply kept all the liquids from when the beef Wellington went into the oven, and we'll start by straining the sauce. And then we'll boil it for a bit until it starts to thicken. Okay, so this is what the beef Wellington should look like once you've taken it out of the oven. It looks amazing. I'm super excited about this. So let's serve. I hope you guys liked this video, and I hope that I've shown you just how easy plant-based foods can be. And once you try the recipes, you will obviously realize just how delicious they are. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and that's it.